for today, we'll be looking at some more reasons. Okay, there are a number of them. We took about 9 or 10 the first day. We took another 7 or so the last session, and I'll be continuing right from where I stopped last week. Okay, the last point we took last week was where we spoke about we took a series of points that bothered around people getting married just because of reasons that bother around sex, either that they've been sexually involved with this person, or that they're pregnant with this person, or this person was their first sexual experience, or people who say they just can't wait to start having sex, so they want to really get married right now, right away, and we said a lot about that. One of the things we established was that, you don't get married just because you want to start having sex, because when you get into the marriage, you'll discover that you need a lot more than the activity of sex to sustain a great marriage. You guys need to be friends. You guys need to be able to have conversations. You need to be able to enjoy each other's companies. It's not always going to be about, getting down and all the banging activities and stuff like that. It's not always going to be that. Okay, as a matter of fact, you will get tired. There are times where you would not even be in the mood. So if that is all you're thinking about as per marriage, okay, you see, you're already going to be disappointed when you get there. You're definitely going to be disappointed. All right, so please, it's beyond that. You want to get married to somebody with whom you share the same values, with whom you guys vibe together, you connect, you can gist, you can talk literally about everything. Okay, let me go on to the points for today. Now, someone says, I'm getting married because he proposed to me. Now, I'm asking myself, without this proposal, were you already thinking about marriage? Were you ready for marriage? Were you poised for marriage? What's your mindset about marriage? Are you set for it? Okay, the simple fact that someone says, hey, I want you to marry me, and he puts a ring on it, it does not mandate you to say yes. You must not get married simply because someone has said, I want to marry you. It's okay for them to want to marry you. I mean, everyone has a right to what they want and to, but for goodness sake, do you want to get married to that person? Do you understand this? Do you want to get married to that person? So the singular fact that someone is proposing to you does not mean your answer has to be yes. And if you remember, guys, there was one of those Q&A sessions where we took one very important question. Someone said he wanted to propose to his lady, but he wasn't sure how she was going to take it. Okay, and if you remember clearly, my answer to that person was, hey, if you're not sure how she will take it, please don't even try it. Don't even propose, because you're going to surprise yourself, or worse still, embarrass yourself, if she's the kind of person who is up to it and will tell you a clear no if she's not ready for you. You see, but then there are some other people who cannot say no. So once they see a ring, they say, oh, he has said he wants to marry me, so let me go ahead with the marriage. No, don't do that. You don't get married just because of the ring. You don't get married just because someone proposed. You need to ask yourself basic questions. Am I ready for marriage? When I look at this person, can I consider being married to this person? Because marriage is for life. Can I stay with this person for the rest of my life? Do you understand it? Am I inspired by this person? What really excites me about this person? Is it just something external? Is it just something he or she has? Or, is it beyond that? What's the quality of this person's character? And then for you, the lady, you want to ask yourself, why does he want to get married to me? You want to hear him talk about what he thinks about you. What's his concept of marriage? You see, with a lot of conversation, you can actually eliminate people who don't fit the kind of marriage or husband or wife material that you want. So ask yourself questions. Why me? Why does he want to get married to me? Okay, discuss with the person. Don't be afraid. Ask yourself, am I ready for this? It's true you want to get married to me, but do I want to get married to you? And please feel free, okay? Feel free to let people know that, see, I appreciate how you love me. I appreciate how you like me. I appreciate how I'm busting your head all over the place. Oh, you can't sleep because you're thinking, oh, beautiful. I appreciate your kindness and your love. But please, I don't feel this way towards you. And please give me some time. Perhaps I will feel this way towards you. Or if I wouldn't, I just want you to respect my position. Okay, don't feel blackmailed into a relationship because somebody is professing love all around you. I hope somebody is hearing this, because that can be another form of manipulation and deception. I know of people who have put a ring to it as a form of security, just to lock this girl, make another man know they look at. And she's engaged already. Engagement is not marriage. Okay, some people put a ring to it and they disappear for the next couple of years. So you don't want to get unnecessarily trapped. Just because somebody is proposing to you, then that means you should say yes. You say he proposed. He proposed, and so man proposes, God. There's this comedy skit. I hear it online, and the guy says man proposes, God disposes, decomposes. The guy didn't know what to say there. You see, but it's one thing for you to propose, you see, and it's another thing for you who is being proposed to say, I am not interested. Thank you for the love. Thank you for thinking of me so highly. But please give me some time because someone proposed. You don't have to accept marriage simply because someone said get married to me. I hope this point is clear enough. So I said something. Ask yourself questions like, why me? Why is he asking me out? Why does he want to marry me? Okay, am I ready for this? He wants to marry me, fine, but do I want to marry this person? Am I mature enough for this relationship? What are his values? Do we vibe together in spirit, soul, and body? You see, is this my priority for now? Do I know this person well enough? You want to think about all these things. All right? All of you are contributing for me. Man proposed, God composed. All right. Okay, so it's one thing really for somebody to say they are proposing to you for marriage. But if you are not ready for the marriage at that time, please, you don't have to accept it. Don't be manipulated into doing that. Some people will just give a girl a ring so that she will not be free to have friends with other people again, so that she just feels like she's caged already. So people, different manipulative reasons why people do this. You're friends with somebody just now, and before you know it, you're giving her a ring. What's wrong with you? Don't do that. Calm down. All right, take some time to know her better. Be sure that she's even convinced about you. The fact that she's smiling to you, she might just be polite and not want to embarrass you. Doesn't mean she likes you. Doesn't mean she's thinking of you in that direction. Somebody's just being professional and courteous towards you, and you say the next thing is, I'm in love with you, can you marry me? You don't do that. You see? So please, if you're not ready for the marriage, you don't have to jump in simply because somebody is proposing to you. All right? Your comments are really cracking me up. All right? Yeah, someone says as long as you're not married, you're single, and that's the truth, man. That's the truth. So don't be caged by anybody. Somebody puts a ring and disappears. Please remove the ring by yourself. Okay. Someone says most marriages these days are transactional. And that's so not right. You see, that's why these marriages crash and have issues. It's like the first point we talked about in this series about marrying because of what you will get. What you can get out of it. Okay, this person is bringing this to the table. Okay, that one is bringing that. Okay, so let me manage. Let me stay here because of those benefits. You will be disappointed. You will be disappointed. Okay, especially when those benefits are third-party benefits. That one just makes me laugh the most. You say, the girl papa get money. He's from a rich home. What has that got to do with you? Is that within your control? Anything that's not within your control, please, you have to be wise. Stop depending on other people as though they're the ones that are going to set up your life for you. All right, let me move on, please, to other points. So, another wrong reason people get married. Now, you need to hear this, okay? Another wrong reason is because of the idea of a lavish wedding. The idea of the wedding. Many people are excited about the wedding that they don't think about the marriage. I've heard of some people, deciding to get married to somebody because of what they will look like in the video and in the pictures, because of the dance, because of the people who will attend. Those are wrong reasons to get married. You can't be getting married because the wedding is going to be really, beautiful and with all the pomp and pageantry and everybody around, Instablock standard or all those kind of things. Those are not good reasons to get married. But unfortunately, people spend time thinking about the wedding. And do you know that there are statistics or reports and people who have done surveys and said that people who spend more time preparing for the wedding activity actually stand a chance to not even have a successful marriage? Because the energy they put into the wedding just tells you where all their priority is. Are we saying you should not have a good wedding, a big wedding? No, that's not what we're saying. Are we saying your wedding should not be what you call it now, community, what do you call these weddings that are really grand and all over the place? We're not saying you shouldn't do. If you can afford that, good and fine, okay, but don't spend all your time thinking about a lavish wedding when you are not preparing for marriage, when you're not taking time to understand the person you're getting married to. All right, someone says something here. It says that wedding night, all the noise and everything dies down, and then it dawns on you what reality really is. Thank you so much for that point. You see, after the ceremony and everyone has gone, everybody said, oh, this wedding was the biggest wedding I've seen. Oh, the best wedding. Have you ever seen any award where somebody got a prize for organizing the biggest wedding or the finest wedding? Or there's nothing there. It's just what the Bible calls pride of life. Okay, at the end of the day, how will that really contribute to the sweetness of your home? There are people who have had big weddings and the marriage ended just after the wedding because even the couple could not see eye to eye on certain things. There are people who have started fighting or quarreling right there in the wedding reception. So you see, it's not about the kind of wedding you want to have. It's not about that. You should think beyond that. The wedding is one day. It's one day. At best, it's a couple of days. Okay, but the marriage is for life. The marriage is what happens after the wedding ends. You see, so you should be thinking more about that because that's when you're going to be spending more of your time, not in the wedding ceremony. Not in the wedding ceremony. Okay, so don't say because I'm thinking of a very beautiful and fancy wedding, and every time I gist with this guy or with this girl, she feels my vibe. That's the kind of thing she also wants. Oh, together we can pull this. We're going to look so good in the pictures. Everyone is going to talk about us, and because of that, you choose that person to get married to. What if this person is a very dirty human being and you cannot cope with it? What if this person is a liar? What if this person is someone you cannot trust? What if this person runs after every woman or everything on skirts? Yet, because you think you guys look good together, because the marriage is going to be grand, then you say you want to get married. Please and please and please, don't get married for that reason. Let me read what someone says here. It says, what you hear next is, the event planner didn't do this or didn't do that, okay, the photographer didn't capture this well, so you see, at the end of the day, all they're thinking of is how the marriage is going, how the wedding ceremony is going to come out, how it's going to appeal to people. Again and again, I tell people who are preparing to get married that they should focus on being joined with their partner on that day. Forget whether the food went round, forget whether the decoration did this or did that. At the end of the day, those are not the things that matter. What matters is that you got married to the love of your life, and together you guys are building a new life, that will impact the world and bring glory to the name of God. That is what should matter to you, not this and that, not whether food, have they shared to this place, have they shared to that place, oh, my friends say they have not eaten. That's not your business. Focus on your spouse and get married to your spouse, and let every other person sort themselves out. If they don't get food in the wedding, they should go home and eat, for goodness sake. It's just scarcity of food in town because of your wedding. So anybody that doesn't eat should go home and go and eat. That's not your problem. Focus on getting married to the love of your life. So point is, beyond the wedding ceremony, please think about the marriage. The fact that somebody has beautiful and creative and lovely ideas about marriage that just seems to bring all your fantasies, to life, does not mean that is a reason to get married. Because every day in the marriage is not a wedding ceremony. Take note of that. You are going to be left with this person for the rest of your life. No vendors, no DJ, no what do you call it now, caterers, no friends and family spray money, no all of that hype. And by the way, Instablog won't be covering your wedding every day, your marriage every day. You see, so think beyond the ceremony and focus on the marriage. All right, let me move on. Someone says, I want to get married because it's when we are married that the problems we're having in this relationship will be solved. He will probably take me more serious when we are married. She will probably listen to me more when we are married. She will understand that I'm her husband when we are married. So she will no longer behave in this way. You know, when people say things like that, I really feel sorry for them. Any issue you cannot resolve at relationship stage will not be resolved in marriage. If any other thing, it will be escalated in marriage. Any issue you guys are struggling with at the relationship stage, take note. In marriage, it will most likely be escalated than resolved. Now, the only thing that will make it to be resolved in marriage is that at that point, both of you have now decided to face this matter, improve on yourselves, you know, do what you both need to do to contribute to the success of that marriage. But if you're there thinking that your partner is the one who needs to make a change, or the other person is the one who needs to make a change, then you're not going to have a good marriage, because you are still looking at the other person instead of you to put the focus and the searchlight on yourself. All right, so you think that when you get married, your problems, your relationship problems will be solved. Please, that is not the case. If you guys cannot resolve those issues at the relationship stage, it's probably a sign that you guys are not even meant to go ahead into marriage, especially if the kind of issues you're having are things that affect the core of your values, the core of your beliefs, you know, the core of what you represent as a person. All right, so if the person is not getting the point while you're in a relationship, please don't think it will be fixed in marriage. I beg you. What will even happen is that in marriage you will get so angry, so frustrated, you know, you will start feeling resentment towards your partner. You'll be regretting, you'll be filled with self-condemnation. How did I get into this? Why did I? Oh, I neglected all the warnings. Oh, they told me I should not. Why did I go? You'll start feeling so bad with yourself that it will affect everything. It can affect your productivity at work. It can affect your relationship with other people. It affects your self-concept. It affects everything. Please don't joke with these points. If you cannot resolve the issues at the relationship stage, please, it might just be a sign that you should not yet get to the next level called marriage. And that is why people say that their partners were just pretending. They say, when we're in a relationship, we're just pretending. No, he agreed that we're going to do this together, or she agreed that this is how we're going to be doing things. But after we got married, guess what? This person just changed and went back to whatever it was that they wanted to do, went back to what their opinion was on that particular thing. You see, that was because you were thinking that with marriage it will be resolved. If your partner cannot get over certain bad behavior that you are not comfortable with, that you cannot live with, if they can't get over it while you guys are in a relationship, please don't be hopeful that it is when you are married with that same behavior that things will get better, especially if it borders on the core of your values and what you represent. Let me see a few comments here, and then I would move on to the next point. Someone says, first things first, before getting married, ask yourself, am I an extremely patient person? Very good point. Extremely patient. Am I an extremely patient person? Is my partner the same? All right, very good points. Thank you so much, somebody. You know, what's our level of tolerance, and not just to each other, but things that make both of us. So it's not just how do we tolerate ourselves, but generally how do we tolerate life. Thank you so much for that point. Another person says, oh yes, it's a big lie, or no one changes after marriage. Marriage will expose a deeper version of that thing that you don't like in him or her. Thank you so much. You see, he says, I tell people that marriage is not too different from boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, just that marriage solidifies you both in thinking. The reality is deeper. Okay, what he's saying is that, or what this person says, is that the reality in marriage is far deeper than what you had as a boyfriend and girlfriend, or what you had in that relationship. Marriage is way deeper. If you don't fix it before the marriage, it would most likely be escalated. Yes, somebody said the same thing. What was not fixed before marriage will not be fixed after marriage. So please take note of these points. It's very important. You need to set somebody free. You need to help somebody who is struggling in their relationship, somebody who is about to make a mistake, somebody who is about to get into that marriage, that they were never meant to get into. Okay, you need to help them hear these things and share these sessions with them so that somebody can be set free. All right. Now, another wrong reason people get married is because of pressure from family, pressure from friends, and pressure from society. In fact, in all of this, also because of their personal pressures. Do you know that there are people who just put pressure on themselves? Nobody is asking them, oh, they are the ones asking themselves, oh, I am not yet married. Oh, all my friends are married. Oh, what is wrong with me? Are you sure something is not wrong with me? I'm 35, I'm not yet married. Listen to me. Nothing is wrong with you unless you are the one wrong with yourself. Nothing is wrong with you. Stop that kind of thinking. Okay? And these are the kind of things that make people become desperate. Once somebody says hi, the next thing you're waiting for him to ask you out and wait for him to tell you he wants to get married to you. You see, you don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to be in such a situation. Please take note of that. Deal with the pressure from within first. Because if you can deal with that pressure within, then there is no pressure from without that will affect you. That is the truth. Nobody can make you feel less of yourself without your permission. I'll say that again. No one can make you feel less of yourself without your permission. So deal with the pressure from within. Tell yourself, I am good and fine and there is nothing wrong with me. In the fullness of time, I will find my partner and we'll have a very beautiful home. Tell yourself that this delay is because when I find that person is just going to be the most fantastic person out there in the world for me. Tell yourself empowering words. Not to sit down there and start sulking and feeling like, oh my God, what happened to me? Oh, all my friends have left me. No, don't do that. You're not running the same race with anybody. Nobody, not even your twin. Your lives are different. Your destinies are different. Okay, so please, once you can deal with the pressure from within, then you'll be able to manage the pressure from outside. Pressure from family, from friends, and from society generally. Okay, sometimes family members are really overbearing. Sometimes it can be really overbearing. They are stressing you. Every day they're calling you, where is he or where is she? You are not getting any younger. When will I carry my grandchildren? This one, that one. Look at that, your friend. You people went to school together. This one is married now. This one's child is 5 years. This one's child will be your chief little bride and little groom. Or what are you doing? Please guard your heart, like the Bible says. Guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. Guard your heart, protect your heart from this kind of pressures. And like I've said in one of our past sessions before, find a way to manage this pressure from family members. Let them know that, please, if you love me so much, pray for me. Pray for me if you love me so much. But this conversation you keep bringing up every time is not helping me in any way. Before you know it, people start suggesting all manner of things to you. Start suggesting you should go and see somebody to wash your head. Start suggesting you should go to the mountain, go and meet one special prayer house, go and get deliverance, go and do deliverance. People start suggesting all sorts. And if you are not guarded in your heart, you will start believing all of these things and thinking that there is really something wrong with you. And guess what? What you believe is what you will attract. If you believe there's something wrong with you, then yes, something will really be wrong with you. It is what it is. But if you know that nothing is wrong with you, you are fine, and in the fullness of time you will find your partner, then you will stay focused on what you are doing, what you are building with your life, and in the fullness of time, all right, you will see that person that is meant for you, that person that you would get married to, and you guys will have a beautiful home. So please deal with the pressure internally first, and then with that, it will help you to manage pressure from outside. No matter what people are saying to you, what is most important is what you are saying to yourself. So what are you saying to yourself about marriage? What are you saying to yourself about your family life, your relationship life? What are you saying to yourself? What do you believe? Many times when I talk to people, it's one of the things I like to get into. What are their thoughts about marriage? You know, sometimes your thoughts about marriage are influenced by what you experienced growing up. Some of them could be toxic and disempowering. So you want to reflect on those things so that when you identify the ones that are not helpful to you, you can discard them and get new values and new belief systems and new thoughts into your mind and empower yourself. Because this is very key. You cannot have a beautiful home if you cannot see it. If you cannot see it, if you can't believe it, if you can't be there in your heart first, in your mind's eye, if you cannot see it happening, then you will not experience it. All right? So let me move on to the next point. Oh, this one is so serious. It's so serious. One of the wrong reasons people get married is to escape from their parents' house. Most times, the female folk are the ones caught in this web most times. You feel like, I'm so trapped in this house, and probably your parents will not allow you to go and rent a house for yourself, no matter how old you are. You must get married from my house. Well, I mean, they're your parents and you can't fight them. Sometimes you can't rebel. Sometimes you can't rebel and just get out of the house and go and fix yourself an apartment somewhere. Okay, so you're stuck, you're in their house. And then the only way to get out of that house and gain freedom is to say yes to anybody that says, I want to marry. And parents, you see, some of you listening now, I mean, you're going to be parents very soon. And don't be caught in this web too. Don't do this to your children. Don't make the home so unbearable for them that the best thing they can think of is how to get out from your grip. And because there is no other seeming way they can go out legally, they just have to get married so that they can move. Some people even get married to someone they know they don't like. They know the marriage won't work. But just to get out of the house, they will say, yes, let's get married and let's leave this place immediately. If that's the reason you want to get married, just because you want to break free from parental control or parental, restrictions and stuff like that, please, I want to beg you, if you have waited till this point, you can wait just a bit longer. Okay, don't leave just because you are looking for freedom. Because that person you're about to run into his arms may not be the one for you. Of course, if everything is good and fine and the person is a wonderful partner, all good. You see, but several people have shared their experiences, how that they got married simply because they just wanted to run away from the home. They were tired of the stress from their parents. Maybe their mothers were overbearing or their fathers were overbearing. They had turned them to slaves in the house. They run all the errands, they do everything. They just get tired. They accuse them. There's not a good relationship between them and their parents, so they run away. They seek freedom with anybody that says, I love you. Some people are even in a hurry to go and get pregnant for anybody just so that they can marry and leave the house. Now take note. If your reasons are wrong, your entire experience would most likely be wrong. Don't forget where disappointments start from. Disappointments are tied to expectations. Once your expectation does not come true, you will be disappointed. Once your expectations are tied to reasons that are not solid enough, that are not valid enough for marriage, your experiences will now be disappointing because those reasons were wrong. And like PK says it, if your reasons are wrong, you are most likely going with the wrong partner. Because when your reasons are wrong, those are the lenses you're using to select, as it were, to scrutinize whoever is coming into your life. So because you're using the wrong indices, the people you're going to pick will fit that index, but they will not fit your life. So I want tall, dark, and handsome, no problem. You get tall, dark, and handsome, but is also a wife beater. Is also a chronic womanizer. Did you get attractive? Yes, you got attractive, but what? You got all the other baggage that you should have also looked out for. I hope you're getting this. All right. So for those who want to escape from the stress in the home, please, please, and please, that's not a good enough reason to get married. Be patient. All right. In the fullness of time, you will really get married to somebody you would love and cherish, and you guys will be excited to do life together. All right. Don't just run away because you want to get out of the house and you're waiting for anybody that will just profess love. I mean, there's some ladies who will even go out. Once you guys have gone out once, twice, the next thing they're asking you is, when are you coming to see my parents? When are you getting married? You don't have to harass guys into marriage. You see, and many ladies, you know that most times when you come forward to them like that, they just withdraw. They feel harassed. They want to do it at their own time. Okay. Now, in some cases, of course, the guy is ready, he's serious, he means everything, and then he goes all out, sees your parents, starts the conversation, you know. But even at that, I encourage you, don't rush into this thing. Take time to learn the person significantly. Okay? Learn the person well enough to be able to close your eyes and trust his decisions. Trust her decisions concerning you. Trust their intent concerning you. All right? If you are not yet at that point, please don't run into marriage. All right, so this other point is also quite interesting. One wrong reason people get married is to achieve the Mr. status or the Mrs. status in their names. Someone says, oh, my life ambition, my biggest dream is just to get married. How can that be your biggest dream? When you get married, what will happen to you? What would you do with the rest of your life now that you are married? Do you understand this? So don't just, you see, people who say things like this, most times, if you check, there is a problem somewhere. They're in fantasy land. They have an imagination of how the marriage will turn out. That is why they are expecting that, oh, I just want to do quick and run inside. They're in fantasy land. They don't really understand. And that is why they get disappointed, you see? Because they just have these funny expectations that, oh, once I get married, all my problems are solved. Everything will be okay. Oh, my husband will meet my need. Oh, my wife will meet all my emotional needs, or everything I need from her. Oh, this person will just do what I say. Oh, I finally have somebody I will call my own. Oh, that will listen to me. Oh, guess what? If you are not prepared for marriage, somebody said before about being ready to tolerate. If you are not ready to tolerate, if you have not built capacity for love, capacity for forgiveness, to handle hurts, to handle provocation, to handle being misunderstood, that can even be a problem. You mean something good, but your partner understands something wrong. If you have not built capacity to handle all of this, please go and take time to build yourself. Oh, marriage might not serve you sweet roses on the bed all the time. It would come with its own tough times. It will come with its own challenges between you and your partner. Okay? That is why your personal capacity is important. You need to build capacity in yourself. Alright? You need to know how to handle people, how to genuinely care for people, how to be selfless, how to put someone else's need ahead of yours, how to go beyond your comfort zone to be of value to somebody else. You see, there are many people who can only do marriage if everything is convenient for them. You do what I say, when I say it, you know, how I want it done. That's not how marriage is. It will take your inconvenience many times to get that beautiful home that you desire. Okay? So for those who think that, oh, my lifelong dream is just to get married so that the status in my name can change, please be patient. Hold on. Okay, so that you don't change that status just now and then just few months or years down the line you're thinking of changing it back again. Don't rush into marriage. Basically, don't rush into it. Don't rush into it. There's no award for the age you got married. There is no award. Someone says poverty, marriage is not poverty alleviation program. Exactly, that's not what it is. You say, okay, when I get married now, oh, my life will just change. My full life will just change. Please, you might be surprised. It might not change in the way you're expecting it to change. All right. Now, this other point is interesting. Somebody says, I want to get married because I always feel lonely. I want somebody who will be there for me. I can't stand being alone. I always want to have my partner with me. Again, marriage is not the cure for loneliness. We have said again and again, loneliness is not the absence of people or affection. Loneliness is the absence of vision. Take note. Absence of vision and direction. It's not because there are not people around you that you are lonely. It's because your mind is not productively engaged. So you are running your life based on feelings, based on how you feel per time. So because there is nobody there right now to make you feel happy, you feel sad because there's nobody to make you happy. You're running your life based on feelings. Take note, there are some temperaments that make you want to feel withdrawn, want to feel, just by yourself. You want people to, I'm not talking about the temperamental one. If you are defining yourself as lonely because there's no partner in your life, then take note, that is not a reason to get married, because you can get married and still be lonely in that marriage. A lot of married people are lonely. Their partners might even be with them in the house, but they are emotionally absent. They can't have conversations together. They can't have fun times together. They cannot even share ideas together. They cannot brainstorm on matters together. They can't pour out their hearts and what they are going through with their partners. So please, it's not about just getting married to save yourself from loneliness. Loneliness is not cured by marriage. Loneliness is cured by having a sense of direction and knowing how to be productively engaged all the time. I need to emphasize this. Many people are lonely in their marriages, even with their spouses in the same house with them and sleeping on the same bed with them every day. Why? Because they are there physically but emotionally absent. Affection is lost. Friendship is lost. They can't even discuss. They can't just sit down and enjoy a cool evening together. They don't even stay in the same room per time. If this one is in this room, that one is in that room. This one is in the parlor, that one is in the kitchen. That one comes to the kitchen, that one goes to the parlor. So don't be quick to just run into marriage because you think that when I get married, it will cure my loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You need to deal with that loneliness right now. You need to commit to personal development. You need to commit to welfare projects. Now, let me even say this very importantly. You see, the unhappiest people in this world are those who are waiting for others to come and make them happy. You're waiting for circumstances to make you happy. Those are the unhappiest people in the world. But guess what? When you go out of your way to make other people happy, you will discover that there's always happiness around you. When you go out of your way to always meet other people's needs, somehow you discover your needs are also met. It's a principle of life. The Bible says when you give, God will cause men to give back unto you. It's not just money. It's not just material things. It also goes to emotional, strength and love and affection and being there for people. If you are the kind who's always looking for who has not called you, who did not visit you, who did not check on you, I'm sorry for you. You have to grow out of that. You're not a child. You have to grow out of that. Some of you have friends like that. The next thing they'll call you 1 week now, you have never even checked on me, or you have never even checked on me. What happened to you checking on the person that did not check on you? As a matter of fact, anytime you feel like somebody is supposed to do something for you or is supposed to check on you, you pick up your phone and check on them. And don't check on them so that you can accuse them. I'm always the one checking on you. Genuinely know how they are doing. The fact that you have all the time in the world to be checking on people does not mean every other person has the time to be checking on you. And it does not mean that you are not important to them. You see, so you need to get your thinking right. People have lost good relationships because you say he doesn't know how to call. He will learn it with time. That's what I tell people. You need to teach him. You need to teach him what's important to you. He will learn it with time. But you say, no, he doesn't call, and then you just end the relationship because he doesn't call. Listen, he can be thinking about you and not even know that he should pick his phone and send you a message. People genuinely don't know what to do sometimes, you see. So you have to teach them and you have to be patient with them. Okay, but my point is, instead of sitting down there waiting for who will do for you, you go and do and be for others. You want somebody to show you love, you go show love to others. You want somebody to be kind to you, you go be kind to somebody else. You want somebody to dash you money, you look for somebody to dash money. You don't want to feel lonely, moody all the time, you look for somebody to put a smile on their face. When you are more focused on these things, you will suddenly discover that you have lost the ability to be lonely. When you're focused on personal development, on being a blessing to other people, on how you can impact other people's life, how you can learn a new skill, how you can do more with your time, you will discover that there is no space for boredom and loneliness. I hope this is clear enough. Let me move on to the next point. I may have said this in one way or the other, but let me just repeat it. People get into marriage because they think that marriage will make them happy. This is like the previous point somehow. There's no happiness waiting for you inside the marriage if you are not already happy in yourself, if you don't know how to control your emotions and be in charge of your emotions. There's no special happiness waiting inside the marriage. Like Pastor Mildred will say it, when you're getting into marriage, you carry your own happiness. Bring your own and enter. Don't be there expecting that my partner is going to make me happy. He or she is not a comedian. And even if they are comedians, every day is not going to be comedy show in your house. Alright? So, bring your own happiness. If you're that kind of person who is waiting for other people to make you happy, then I'm so sorry, because you may never really be happy in your life. Why? Because that is a role that only you and your Jesus can play. Don't exalt any human being to a level of importance that your life is now tied to how they respond to you or what they do to you. When they do good to you, you're happy. When they do bad to you, you're sad. No, don't do that. You have to be in charge. Okay, marriage doesn't make anyone happy. If anything, it will provoke and irritate you the more. Especially while you guys are going through the initial stages and learning how to understand yourselves and how to be friends and, how to work your marriage out deliberately. Marriage in itself does not make anyone happy. Please, you need to take note. You bring your own happiness. You bring your own long suffering. You bring your own tolerance. You bring your own joy, your own peace, your own love, your own trust. You bring it and you serve it in the marriage. Yes. Don't wait for your partner to be the one to be it for you or to do it for you. You bring your own happiness. You be whole in yourself. You know how to manage your emotions and switch from the negative emotions to the positive one. So you know how to get rid of sadness and replace it with joy. You have to know how to do that for yourself. And that is why, like I tell people, you see, to experience true love, you cannot walk in true love if you don't know God. Because God is love. All these qualities we're teaching you, we're talking about, the love, the joy, the peace, the gentleness, self-control, long-suffering, and all of those things, patience, kindness, goodness, meekness. These are things that the Holy Spirit helps you to become. He's the one who secretes those qualities in you. You can't just sit down there and say, I want to try and be forgiving. I want to try and be nice. You will run out of you get tired. You'll run out of moves, man. But when you're a believer, when you're a Christian, when you're somebody who is open to the Holy Spirit working on your inside, the Word of God is working on your heart, you are yielding yourself every day to becoming more and more like Christ, to become a better person, to become more lovable, to become, kind, generous, to be self-controlled, to be gentle. You learn how to control your speech. You know how to speak words that are graceful and edifying to the hearers. When you're somebody who has yielded yourself this much for the Holy Spirit to work on you, for God's word to work on you, trust me, it will be easier to have a beautiful marriage. It will be easier to have a blissful and peaceful home than somebody who does not know God. Because those who don't know God are going to depend mostly on their emotions. And even when they are not depending on emotions, the fruits they are producing are fruits born out of their earthly nature, which the Bible calls the fruits of the flesh. You see? So they will try to be good, try to be nice, but with the slightest provocation, bam, they will lose it. They will try their best to not cheat, but with the slightest opportunity, they will cheat. Because it's a nature issue, not just a behavior issue. I want to stop here for now because of our time. All right. Next week we'll continue, and I hope to round this off next week. Okay. If not, we just have to round it off next week, because after that we'll take question and answer. So we'll round this off next week. Hopefully we'll be able to stream the audio for those who missed it today. Okay. I hope this has been a good use of your time. Please feel free to share our videos, watch the past sessions on our IG handle, on Mixlr for the audio, and on YouTube. All right, these resources are available. Go glean from them, share them with people who you know need them. Okay, a lot of people need help in their relationship. Please, if you know people like that, feel free to recommend them to see someone. Let them talk to me if they don't know any other person they can speak to. All right, a lot of people need help. Don't sit down there and allow them just go through what they're going through. Let them know that there is help available for them. All right, but let them be open enough to receive it. Thank you for your time. I'll stop here today. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and see you again next week, Wednesday. Bye for now.